guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is gonna be, wow, I was like just running with the train. Today's video is gonna be my skincare inventory for 2024 finale. So I did a skincare inventory video in the beginning of the year where I gave myself like goals basically for the entire year as to what I want my collection to look like at what number I want my collection to be at, and then I also revised the goals eventually. So today I have my original goals, my revised goals, and then what my collection is actually at. And then towards the end of the video, I'll also do like a 2025 intro, all in this video itself, because I don't want to, like, I know this is not one of my most like viewed videos. These videos don't get a ton of views, but I still want to do this for those people who like watching it. And it's also something that if I want to look back, then I can look back at this video as well. So yes, that's what we're going to be chatting today, and hopefully this video is not going to be super long. So let's dive right into it. Now I have a Google like spreadsheet basically, like it's a Google Sheets on which I track all of these numbers. So first of all, I'll give you like what my collection was at in the beginning of the year. I was at 68 products in total, and my goal was to somewhere be close to, I mean, I wanted to do like almost half, which was 37 initially, but then I realized, you know what, even 37 is a very big number. I could easily get this like close to 25. Have I achieved that? Not really. I'll give you a spoiler right in the beginning. But if we go category wise, starting with face washes first, I started the year off with 8 face washes, and my goal was first to be at around 5, but then I was like, you know what, even 5 is a big number. I could easily just have 2 face washes in my collection and be done with it. And towards the end of the year, like right now, my collection is at 3 face washes, which is not too bad. I'm very close to my goal, and I could have easily hit it. But it's just a simple fact that I did end up buying backups. Like I have 2 of the same face wash, so that already is touching the number for me, and it's not something I'm mad about, but I do want to eventually have it lower. So yes, my goal for 2025 will be to have 2 face washes eventually, and once I use up in the next couple of months what I have, I think we'll easily be there. Then moving on next to face serums. Now for this category, I am only counting niacinamide serums, kojic acid, and vitamin C. I'm not counting AHA and BHA because those are in their own separate category. Now for general face serums, like basically what I use in the morning, so we're not counting retinol either in this category. I had 8 to begin with in the beginning of the year, which was quite a huge number, and my goal was to be at 4 initially, but then I realized, you know what, even having 4 face serums is a pretty big number. I don't even need to have 4. I could easily just have 2. And again, this is one of the categories where I was almost at it, but not really. And the reason being, I still have the kojic acid serums that I had initially bought a lot of backups of, and I already have 2 of those, plus I have one niacinamide serum as well. So that's why my finale number is again at 3, but I could easily be at 2 if I either used up the niacinamide or I used up the kojic acid. Most likely using up the kojic acid, I think, would help me reach my number very easily. But I think it's still not a very big collection. I've definitely downsized from the initial 8, so that's a big achievement both for face wash as well as for face serums. Then moving on next to BHA serums. Now in this category, I'm putting all my spot treatments, anti-acne serums, all of that stuff falls in the BHA category, and I only had 1 in the beginning of the year, but and I wanted to keep that same number, by the way, for the entire year, but unfortunately eventually I ended up having 2. That is because I have 1 spot treatment from Requil, and I also have an acne squad anti-acne serum which I bought, and I haven't used up either of them. So that's why my number is at 2, which was unfortunate, but I think it's okay. It's still not a huge number. But I don't want to buy any for the foreseeable future and just use up what I have so that we can eventually reach our number that we want to be at. Then for AHA serum, my goal was to be at 2, and that was also the number that I started out with, by the way, and I am really glad to say that we've consistently been at 2. I did buy some new ones in this year, but I also eventually used up all of those. And when I say AHA serum, I actually mean AHA toners, to be honest, because I don't buy AHA serums that much. It's usually an exfoliating toner. So this is the one category I have done very good at throughout the entire year, and I'm very happy with it. I could easily have 1 or maybe 2 as well, and the reason for that is if I'm buying the Dermaco one in the buy one get one offer, I'll tend to buy 2 instead of buying 1. So that's totally fine, because this is something that I do go through as and when I do. So we did very well in that category. Then for retinols, this is the foxtail one that I basically buy all the time, and when I started the year I had 4, and I didn't mind having 4, to be honest. I was at 4, I wanted to be at 4, I revised my goal also and kept it at 4, but this is something that right now I have 2, and I realized that because it's just one product that I'm using, having 2 is basically more than enough. So if I'm even buying backups, that's something I want to go through as consistently, and instead of buying 4 every single time, I could actually buy them when they do the buy one get one sale instead of doing the buy 2 get 2 sale, and that way I'll tend to have less back stock in my collection. It's not like it's a bad thing if I'm purchasing it during the buy 2 get 2, because again, like I said, it's something that I go through. But if I keep the goal to like just keep it at 2 every single time, that will also help me in having my overall collection at a much lower number. So there is that as well. Moving on next. Now this category is my most disappointing category, and that is face moisturizer. So when I tell you the numbers, you are going to be so disappointed at me, and so am I when I was looking at the numbers myself. When I started the year out in my face moisturizer category, I had 12, and that is a huge number, and my goal was initially to reduce it at 5, but then I was even more strict with myself and I said, you know what, I want to reduce my collection to just having 2. And when I say that, I mean just for the face moisturizers, not for the night cream. So the difference between a face moisturizer and a night cream is usually what I put in my face moisturizer category is what I use in the daytime, and then whatever thicker moisturizers I have, those I put in my nighttime night cream category basically. So I wanted to be at 5, but then I gave myself an even more stricter goal, and I said I want to reduce my collection down to just 2, which is still, I mean, if you think about it, a big number. I could easily just have 1, but that would be like a goal maybe that I aim for 2026 when I eventually get my collection at an even lower number. And when I reach the goal of 2, I can say, okay, now I want to be even more stricter with myself and just have 1 at a time in my collection. But the disappointing thing is that in my finale I am still at 12 moisturizers, and that is because I bought a ton of ones this year, so whatever I used up, I basically just cancelled it out. So now I have to work even more harder in 2025, which is why I'm also on a face moisturizer no buy, and I think that is the only way that I can use up 10 and not buy any additional ones, is by being on that no buy. So yes, my goal for 2025 is to again be at 2, and we'll see how we do on that one in 2025, but I'm going to be very, very strict with myself on this one. Then moving on next is our night cream category that we just spoke about, and in this category I had 5 in the beginning of the year, and I don't know why I gave myself the goal that we should continue to be at 5, because that's definitely a big amount. Having 2 is more than enough, and I'm really glad to say that actually, you know what, I'm not at 2, I'm at 3 right now. 3? No, 4. I think I got the numbers wrong. I'm currently at 4, which just increased my total number as well. So currently I have 4 in my collection, but my goal is to eventually come to 2. I have some new ones, and I also recently bought backups during the .K sale, and that is why my number is at 4, and I just increased my total, which I'm a little bit sad about, but no worries. My goal eventually in 2025 is to be at 2, so basically 1 that I have actively going and then 1 backup, and that would be good enough. Then moving on, next we have sunscreen. Now for sunscreen, I was at 6 in the beginning of the year, and again, I don't know why I gave myself the goal initially that 6 would be good enough, but then eventually I realized that 6 is a big number for sunscreen, so I reduced it eventually to 3, and currently in my collection I have 4. Out of this, 1 I'm using actively, I have 2 backups, and then I have 1 more sunscreen which I want to go through eventually and then not repurchase, but I'm currently at 4. And my 2023 goal, again, I think I gave myself the goal of 3, but I could reduce this further. I could just have 2, so that would mean 1 that I'm using actively and then 1 backup. So yeah, we're going to be very strict with ourselves in 2025. That's how we're going to eventually be able to reach our goals. Then for body lotion, I had 13 in the beginning of the year, which is a very big number, and I am glad to say that this is something I have worked on quite a bit. From 13, I gave myself the goal of having 4, which is still a big number if you think about it, because I eventually revised that goal and I made it 2. So my revised goal was 2, but I'm currently at 4. So if I go by my initial goal that I gave myself, I have met it, but realistically I haven't. So eventually I do want to reach the goal of having 2, and I don't think it's going to be super hard, because especially right now in winters, it's very easy to go through body lotion, and I think I can easily reach this goal, and then just make it a point to not buy a ton of backups, or just buy one at a time and repurchase it more regularly whenever I need to, like whenever I'm going through it, but not using up too much. Then moving on, next we have makeup remover. Now for this category, I had 3 initially in the beginning of the year, and I gave myself the goal to just have 1, which is actually a very strict goal if you think about it, because that would mean I cannot have any backups. So I didn't want to do that, so I revised the goal and I added this time, and I made it 2. So having 2 backups, not 2 backups, 1 backup and then 1 active, and that is a pretty good goal, and that is one of the other goals that I've actually achieved. So currently I have 1 active bottle of Foxtail Daily Dew Cleanser, and then I have 1 backup of it. So I just want to keep at it and have the same number going throughout. And then the last category is sunscreen body lotion. Now this is another category where I just have too many, and I had 6 in the beginning of the year. I definitely don't use it as much, so it was obviously something that I bought too many of, which I should not have. So then I gave myself the goal that I will use all of them up, which clearly did not happen. But then I revised the goal and I made it to 1. Reason being is that it's always good to at least have 1 on hand in your collection if you ever need it. So that was the goal, but unfortunately I have not been able to reduce this number at all, just like face moisturizer, because I used up 1 this year, but I also brought in a new one in my collection. It was a new product that I was testing out because it was a very exciting launch, so I ended up buying it anyway. So this is a category that I also have to work through in 2025, and eventually I do want to be at 1. So now telling you what my total collection strength is. It is we are at 44 products in total, and my final goal is to eventually be at 20, which is basically cutting down my current collection into half, which is a very lofty goal, but I think it's something that's achievable, because with most categories I'm seeing that I am almost there. The only categories I really need to work at is face moisturizer, and then night cream, sunscreen, yes for sure, but that's something I can easily do. Same with body lotion, very easy to do. So sunscreen, body lotion and face moisturizer are the main categories that I really need to work very hard at, and the other categories like face moisturizer, night cream, night cream, sunscreen, those will be very easy to hit my goal. I know that because it's something that I use every single day, right? So that's not going to be very hard. But yes, that is it. That was my skincare inventory finale for 2024. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope that you've been enjoying Vlogmas so far. If you have, then please let me know down below in the comment section. And if you haven't caught up on all the videos of Vlogmas, here is your chance. We are almost done with this month-long series of having everyday uploads. I've been doing this for a couple of years now, and I always enjoy doing it every single year, and it's something that I'm definitely going to be keeping up in 2025 as well. Thank you so much for watching this video, you guys, and I cannot wait to see you again tomorrow. Until then, bye.